Good day doodlers, welcome to Draw Cartoons. Today I've got another meme video for you. It's an oldie but a goodie. It's Gnome Child from the ever popular online game Runescape. Thanks to Concept Logan for the suggestion. Learning the best way to draw Gnome Child was interesting. Make sure you watch the whole video, it's only short and you might learn a cool drawing trick or two as you go as well. As always, you're going to need a pencil, paper, an eraser and a Sharpie. Let's go. Let's get started. But first, if you want to learn to draw the fast and easy way, make sure you subscribe to the channel and ring that bell. Let's begin. So the first step to drawing our strangely philosophical friend here is to just go right ahead in the middle of your page of paper with your pencil, just go right ahead and draw a big circle like this. The circle is going to be pretty much the whole drawing with just kind of a bit on top and a bit below. So your circle needs to be somewhere in the middle of your page. It doesn't have to be a completely perfect circle because it's just a guideline. The only part of the circle that's actually going to be showing up is this side here. The rest of it, as you can see, you draw around it in some way or another. So once you've drawn that, cut off the top with a line that just slightly curves like this, so that you end up with like a third of it cut off and 2/3 roughly for the face. Once you've drawn that, we can start here and draw the rest of the hat by drawing a big line right up here to a point. And that point should be more or less, if I draw a line down, more or less in the middle of the circle. If you can kind of see that, it kind of cuts it in half if you draw a line almost straight down. So once you've drawn that point there, carry on over, bring it past the shape of the circle to about here. And then you need to meet that line with Gnome Child's ear. So where that actually starts just below this line here. It starts about here. So you draw a line that angles up and it cuts off the edge of the hat like that to a point. Typical kind of elf-shaped ear going on, and then you bring it down to meet with the circle there. Okay, so what you can do at this point is you can just kind of carry that on and curve it down for the neck like that. Just pretty much a line that goes straight down. And once you've drawn that, bring a line out quite sharply to the side for the shoulder, and we don't really go past this because, well, in the infamous picture of Gnome Child, that's pretty much all you draw. So once you get to that point there, you can just cut it right across to the other side. Nice straight line, lots of small strokes if you need to with a pencil, and then up at an angle like this, very similar to this angle here. We're just pretty much doing the same on this side. If you want, at this point you can just go ahead and bridge those together with a line that just slightly curves down in the middle, just a little bit, almost like you're pressing on a trampoline. Make sure those lines meet up, and then once they do, you want to bring this up and curve it into the circle like this. If you've ended up like here and you're curving up there, you haven't gone quite far enough into the circle. You need to kind of bring this back to about here, kind of this point here, and then bring it up and curve it into the rest of the circle. So I'd say probably at this point the hardest part of the drawing is done. Mapping all those shapes together was probably the more challenging part. So we can go ahead and draw that goofy little face. So the best place to start is this eye, because this eye is kind of in the middle of the circle. Again, if I draw a line down the middle of the circle, you can see if I cut that circle in exactly two halves, this eye is kind of sitting on that shape that I've drawn. So if you want, you can draw a dotted line down the middle of the circle as a guide. It might be helpful, and then you know kind of how to draw the eye from here. So sitting below the end of this hat here, you want to draw a shape that I don't really know how else to describe it other than it's just an eye shape. But it's kind of a little bit curvier at the top and a little bit flatter at the bottom. And once you've done that, you can draw a pupil that's just kind of gazing off into the distance. There we go. If you place that pupil more or less in the middle of that eye, it's going to give us the impression that he's just kind of looking out to space somewhere. Who knows where he's looking. So then the other eye is off to the right of this. It's close to the end of the circle, but not quite. There's a small gap. And again, you want to draw that kind of shape again where it's a little bit curvier on the top and a little bit flatter on the bottom curve of that eye. Once you've drawn that, you want to draw the pupil inside again. This time, just for that extra comedic look, I recommend you draw the pupil a little bit to the right. You see what I mean? So it's not exactly in the center like here, it's just a little bit to the right here. And then again, that kind of I think that really kind of captures his spacey look that he has in the game. So between those, we need to draw a line that comes straight down for the nose, get to about here, and then angle it in like that. Once you've done that, we'll draw the shadow behind the nose, which is a little bit sharper out like this, and then it just matches up with the very base of the nose there. If it's helpful at this point with your pencil, you can just kind of cross-hatch this, kind of shade it in just so you remember that is a shadow and it's not like a huge part of his nose or something. And then lastly is the shape of the mouth. The mouth is actually kind of hard to get right, but if you did all this without a problem, then you'll certainly get the mouth right. So it's not like a typical kind of ordinary mouth to draw. It's got a weird shape to it, but luckily we drew this dotted line down the middle, and we can start it smack bang here. See where the middle meets the very, very corner of the mouth rather. So we can actually start from there. If we draw a line that curves across like this, so if you look at the shape of the line that I've drawn, it started to go up a tiny bit like this, and then it just kind of levels out towards the end of the mouth. Once you've done that, the rest of it is a lot easier. It's getting that fur shape that's really, really tough. So you can start here again. This time, draw a line pretty much straight across. And once you get to more or less level with the tip of the nose, if you look down on like a straight line like that, once you get to about there, just flick it up to the edge of the mouth. And there you've got perfectly captured that kind of open mouth look that he's got going on. So your drawing of Gnome Child, at this point, well, one more finishing touch will make sure the hat just kind of wraps around behind that ear nicely. And there you go, your sketch of Gnome Child is done. So get your Sharpie, go over all the lines you want to keep. You don't want to keep this one, for example, that's just a guideline, don't need that, or the dotted line we drew before, don't need that. This guideline can just kind of go, most of the circle, to be honest, can pretty much go. And then go over it with a Sharpie and you'll have your very own awesome drawing of Gnome Child. Go carefully over your sketch with your Sharpie. This is a great time to check for any last mistakes in the sketch as you go and fix them before you finish your drawing. And there you go. Now, whenever you want to share a bizarre quote that your mom told you, or you want to show people the guy your girlfriend told you not to worry about, why not draw it instead? By the way, make sure you head over to my Discord channel. You can share your artwork and your memes anytime you like. Hit the link in the description below to join the Discord and start sharing right away. Remember to like and subscribe for more tutorials. Until next time.